So in this case, we're back to our data set where we have years of experience of faculty. So these are our 5 data points. Here we're calculating the sample variance. To calculate the sample variance, you need a couple things. One thing you need is the sum of your x values. So what I highly suggest you do is you list out your x values. You also need the sum of the x squared values. So I highly suggest that you just create yourself 2 columns. One lists the sum of the x's, or the x values that you can sum, and the other lists the x squared values. So to get these values, all you have to do is take each x value and you square them. And then if you sum these 2 columns, this is the sum of x. The sum of x in this case is 68. This is the sum of x squared. The sum of x squared in this case is 1510. So to get the variance formula looks like this. S squared, which is the variance, n times the sum of x squared minus the sum of x all squared over n times n minus 1. So n is simply our sample size. So n in this case is 5 because we have 5 data points. So we plug in n equal to 5. The sum of the x squareds, we just figured that out. That says you square the x value, then you sum them. That is 1510. From that, we subtract the sum of the x's, which is inside the parentheses, and we square that. So that is 68 squared. And we divide that by n times n minus 1, which is 5 times 5 minus 1. So once you get to this point, it's really a matter of cranking out the math. So 5 times 1510 is 7550. 68 squared is 4624. And that is over 5 times 4. Do your subtraction and you'll get 2926 over 20. And if you work that out, you get 146.3. That is the average squared distance the data points are away from the mean. You should keep in mind that this is in squared units, so it's not the most interpretable value, but you have to calculate this before you can calculate standard deviation.